I'm curious to know, how has your income changed?
I was just about to break the 6K a month mark. So
That's
I
awesome. Congrats,
wait
man. Like when
to
was that? What month?
November, I was to around 3.5, 3.7. And then
Mhm.
the next was December, which I was couple, maybe 100, $200 away from the 6K.
That's awesome. So first of all, congratulations. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Markus Dunk here. And today I'm sitting here with our client, Carlos from Colombia, who has been absolutely crushing it inside of our remote closer mentoring program. So I decided to invite Carlos for you guys today so he can share a little bit about his story, how it was for him, his experience. So Carlos, welcome. Super excited to have you here, and thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for inviting me, Marcus. My pleasure to be here, connecting with you, just having this little chat. And I hope it works for a lot of people that is going to see it after the call and potentially, just get the information they need to take a
Yeah.
decision. Right?
Yeah, your story is definitely inspiring. So we're gonna dive right into that. Already before we started recording, you wanted to already share a lot. So let's just dive right into that, and actually let's dive into the good stuff. So tell us a little bit, who's Carlos? Maybe you tell us a little bit about your backstory. What was life like for you before meeting me, before learning inside of our community and inside of our mentoring program?
Perfect. So before I actually entered the mentorship, I was basically a recently graduated man from college. Got a degree in business administration. So as
Okay.
soon as I graduated, I had a couple of internships. One was with a NASDAQ listed company that basically manufacture windows and glass doors. And then I had another internship with the Colombian stock market, um, just going through a college for that, right? So I had a couple of internships, and I was so lucky to got myself into a closing position or similar to that. It wasn't the first time I entered to it. I was a project manager remotely for a firm based in the US. So basically, I was just working hard, putting in the hours, getting a little bit of recognition every now and then until I got to a position in which I could sell for the firm. So in that way, I was basically closing for them online. That
Right.
happened for, I think, a little over a year and a half. I already knew who you were. I actually tried to certify myself before, but it was funny because almost a year before I entered the mentorship, I had a call with Ismail. Shout out to Ismail because he was a huge part of the process. So
If you have not, just really quick, if you have not watched, like if you're watching this and you have not watched the interview that I had with Ismail already some time ago, we're gonna put it somewhere here so you can click at it and you can watch that one as well. Sorry, Carlos. Yeah.
don't worry. So I had a call with Ismail. He described the mentorship for me. I was really excited to get in, but to be honest with you, I just couldn't afford it in that time. So I was like, okay, this is great. I believe him. I think he's doing a great job, but I just can't afford it. So I really pushed myself through. Eventually, during that time, I got to start in sales. So you know that once you start in sales, you actually get commissions. So I was making a little bit more, and I kind of saved. I was doing better, of course, just reading resources by myself, trying to improve my skills, but without any specific guidance. Classic
Hmm.
book, Grant Cardone videos, Gary
Yep.
Mind, everything you could imagine. So eventually, I had the money. I had the call again, and I remember that now my second call literally was like a 3 minute Zoom call because Ismail was like, "Hey, are you ready? You want to know more?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to know anything. I'm ready. I just want to do it." So I was like, I think that was a very important part of the process that I really had. I don't know if it is the motivation or the will to go through the process and to improve into any specific skill, right? Because personally, I just thought that I had hit a ceiling right where I
Yeah.
was. So I didn't think that it needed a change or it needed new skills because just the way I was doing things, I was good. I had improvement definitely, but I wasn't gonna pass a certain level. So that's what I was looking for, right?
Gotcha. Okay, so basically you were in a sales position before, but like kind of with your company that you've been working with before, I understood you also could do that remotely, if I remember correctly, like that same
Yeah.
position.
I was working
Yeah,
remote.
and you were just educating yourself with like free stuff for YouTube videos and all of that, um, towards, like more heavily investing into yourself. So
Exactly.
how much have you been making back then, like in your regular job when you were like back at the time?
So when I started in the firm, my first salary or my first pay was $800 a month.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
I started.
Yeah.
So yeah, I as I say, I worked my way up, and
Yeah.
when I started the mentorship, I was doing a little bit more, but not that
Mhm.
much more, right?
Yeah. What's the average salary in Colombia where you're located at, like per month?
Mm, I mean, the minimum wage here is around $250.
Okay. So you were
Mm,
already making more than average
Yeah,
money for where you at.
yeah, exactly. I could say like the average for somebody with a college degree, like the one that I had, could be anywhere between 500 and maybe 1,000, something like that. That'll be like the the average range. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And then like what changed? Like you joined the mentoring program, so you started learning more about closing, remote closing. Uh, what has changed? How was that journey for you? And also, I'm curious to know how has your income changed?
Yes, of course. So I'll say that there has been a couple of changes apart from the money. So first of all, I put it in kilograms because in Colombia we use kilograms, we don't use pounds, but I lost like 12 kilograms. Literally, I was weighing 89. Now I am on average, say 77, 78
Yeah.
kilograms. So it was great because I got myself in shape. I started going to the gym. I read a lot of books, not only because we have to read books, but also like it motivated me to read more. I had a couple of anxiety issues. A lot of them go away as well, went away as well. So I'll say that those were a lot of positive changes that came with the mentorship, despite the fact that you don't have anything related to, fitness or anxiety, but at the end of the day, it kind of worked.
Right.
And regarding the money, I was just about to break the 6K a month mark. So
That's
I
awesome. Congrats, man. Like when was that? How did your income look like December so far, November? Like what was your best month? Share a little bit about that for us.
Okay, so I've actually finished the mentorship mid-October,
Hmm.
right? So the next month will be November. I was to around 3.5, 3.7. And then the
Hmm.
next was December, which I was couple, maybe 100, $200 away from the 6K. And
Hmm.
I do think that that is going
Yeah.
to be. So it is like
Wow.
an
Okay. That's awesome. So first of all, congratulations. Like again, this is not something like if you're watching this right now, this is not like fly by overnight, super easy. Like Carlos has put in a lot of work, right? So disclaimer, yeah, he's been an excellent student. But you managed to bump up the income from $800 a month to now like 6,000 US dollars a month. So that's more than six times your income while you're still in Colombia, right?
Yeah, like definitely. I mean, with my own kind of resource, I was making anything between 1,000 and maybe 1.5. But then after
Yeah.
the mentorship, that's what got me to six, you know?
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Wow. So yeah, four times your income basically through the mentorship.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Exactly.
that's big, man. Like, what would you say um were like the key points or the maybe the biggest learnings that you got from the mentorship program or from us or from our coaches that you implemented to your life that really made yeah that allowed you to make that yeah that jump.
Well, first of all, I think that there was really an important part of this mentorship that is the structure. So before I went to business school, I actually went to a culinary school, and in there, like, instead of learning, recipes, they were trying to teach you the right techniques. Why?
Mhm.
Because in that way you could find yourself with any ingredients and potentially make something with them rather than
Right.
just knowing in a specific way of doing things. So I really like the fact that you provided a structure for us. People will, the ones that haven't done the mentorship wouldn't understand, but the hotels and everything, the structure.
Yes.
So I think that was really important because at the end of the day, I was already selling. So this was not going to be like this, like a huge transition for me. But I think those small tweaks or small changes are the ones that could actually do something for you once you have reached a ceiling, like I was feeling.
Yeah.
So it's exactly when you are, I don't know, taking a diet or doing any changes in your body. Usually when you meet somebody that is an expert in nutrition, and he or she make a little small adjustment, you're going to see a lot of changes and a lot of impact in your results. I think that was the similar in here. So first will be the structure. Second, it will be the discipline. As you said, it was not easy. Those 90 days were super hard work. I was basically studying a lot, having my 8 hours of regular job, and finding my way in between to go to the gym, to read a couple of books, whatever. So you have to be really focused. The opportunity to practice,
Mhm.
that's the third one. No,
The
no, no.
community.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The community is too important for this process because if it wasn't for the community, for example, my accountability partner, Brian Bennett, shout out to Brian too. He was great with me. He was always supporting me. I was supporting him as well. So we kind of push each other in
Mhm.
the mentorship. And at the end of the day, I was doing sometimes there was a week I did almost 40 role plays. So
Yep.
that's like a regular work week. So I almost did 40 role plays. So I said that that opportunity to practice is really interesting because let's suppose I want to do it on my own. You very, very hardly will find, if not one person that could help you
Mhm.
with a role play, because not everybody's willing to put 1 hour aside from their time to sit with you, to pretend to be a prospect
Right.
and so I'll say that is a very important tool. And again, it is a tool. It is not like a magic thing, because if you have the tool there, you have the way to schedule, but if you don't schedule the calls, nothing is going to happen, right? So
Yeah.
so that one is important. Should be structure, the discipline, the community, of course, the support you have from the mentors. I think I didn't bother too much anybody, but again, like Ismail, Jack, were always open to help as well in case you
Yeah.
needed anything. It was like a very open, direct communication. So so I definitely think that'll be maybe the pillars of all the
The
mentorship.
biggest ones, the one that really moved the needle the most. Yeah. Also, like
Yeah.
accountability is probably something I would throw in there as well. You mentioned your accountability partner, right? So, yeah, accountability is a big part, and that's what I see over and over again. If you try to do that on your own, which of course you can, without that accountability, it's just, you learn the stuff, but then who do you practice with? Or even if you have one person to practice with who is not taking the time, or maybe is on the same path, you would only practice with that one person, right? So it's difficult to become this well-rounded closer with different personalities and all of the stuff that we basically, explaining and teaching. Um,
that, that's
okay.
right.
Good. Yeah, that's interesting as well to like boil it down to what really made the difference for you. What does your family say about your progress? Do they know?
Well, at the beginning, the only one that knew was my mother, because again, I didn't want to be the guy. I don't know. I've always had this entrepreneurial mindset. So I was
Yep.
always the guy that was coming with new ideas to the family.
Yeah.
Some of them I executed well, some of them I didn't. So this time I was like, okay, this is the first time I'm gonna be putting that much effort, the investment, everything, the sacrifice that I'm gonna be doing. I just gonna make the best out of it. I don't care if
Yeah.
everybody knows, I don't care if nobody knows. At the end of the day, I want the results and I want the knowledge. So it was for me, it wasn't for anybody else. I just told my mother
Right.
because she's always giving me support and everything. So she definitely was like, oh, I can see the changes. I can see that something changing you. She didn't even mention like we're not talking about income in here. We
Right.
here we're talking about mm, waking up early, going to the gym, reading, be a better person, be more comprehensive, listen, because I forgot about that one, but you actually teach people how to listen, right? So um, I'm always talking fast, I'm always reacting fast. So it is good to sometimes take a minute and when you're talking with somebody, actually listen to that somebody. So I
Yeah.
think I also got that from the mentorship, you know, and definitely that's something that you could see. My relationship with my girlfriend is better now. Like I can feel that I'm a more caring person, and
Yeah.
you start noticing little changes that maybe once you are asked about them, you can explain them with words, but it's just the little somethings that now I do that
Yeah.
actually made me believe that I have changed not only my income, because at the end of the day, of course, everybody wants to improve their financial situation. I'm happy that I improve mine. But if that comes with a empty soul, maybe that's not the best combination.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's very powerful. So basically, it's not just your income changed, right? It's basically you went through a transformational journey, right, where you literally became a better version of yourself on all areas of life. It sounds like, your health journey, your relationships, your financial, which is part of it as well. But it's all thanks to the person that you have become, right, and the transformation that you went through. And this is why I always say, like this journey of becoming a closer is like one of the most profound self-discovery and self-development journeys you could embark on. Because also your income, it's kind of a reflection of the person you become. How do you carry yourself? What standards do you set for yourself? What do you accept in your life? What you don't accept in your life? And then people around you will notice that, hey, you're different, right? And then some people, they appreciate that in a positive way, but there might also be sometimes people who might not like. They're like, hey, you changed, and like all of this transformation is not an easy process to go through. uh, but the beauty of it is literally that personal development and closing, and then again, of course, your income is in direct relation with each other. So yeah, it's really great to hear from you as well that you kind of experience the same.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
definitely. And it was funny because I remember that maybe 3, 4 years ago, I used to make fun about people, like, of course, not to the phrase, but I would be like, oh, why is he like reading that type of books? Why is he like talking about attraction? Why is he, writing things out or whatever? Because I used to have a friend, like literally he used the lock screen of his phone. For example, if he wanted to go, I don't know, to Russia, he will put like, something from Moscow in the lock screen, and that way
Right.
he'll be like looking at it. So I used to make fun about it. And it is not that I have turned into this super spiritual person, because I don't think I have, but definitely the couple of small um, advices that you receive in the mentorship regarding that, regarding your I'll say that's mindset, the mindset training.
Yeah.
So definitely it is important to implement, because there's a lot of new deals that I've closed, and I could tell that sometimes I've been doing potentially very similar things to the ones I did before, but the delivered now changes, and the way I project myself changes well, sorry. So I think that the nonverbal communication and just what you transmit as a person is also really important in sales and in actually closing, right? So
Yeah.
that's super important as well, and I do think that that plays an important role um when you're trying to change your financial situation, which has, as you said, a lot to do with how your mindset operates.
Yeah, absolutely. Like currently, for anyone might be wondering, okay, what is Carlos like closing? What deals is he closing? I'm not asking you to give away any names of the company you're working with or anything like that if you don't want to. But like in general, like what if someone is watching this and they might not know, okay, what kind of deals could I be closing as a remote closer? I don't understand. Like, do I need to cold call? Do I need to find like how does that site work on your end? Like, what's your opportunity like on like more high level? If you want, if you like to share, if not, perfectly fine.
No, 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 definitely, definitely, I would love to share it. So I think that that'll vary from company to company, of course.
Yeah.
But right now, I know that a lot of people start in the mentorship and end up switching careers or
Right.
switching jobs or whatever. That was not the case for me. I started, as I told you, I was already selling and I was selling remotely and
Yeah.
I appreciate the work environment that I am still in. So basically the company that I work for is a US firm, and the products or services we sell basically help people to move, migrate legally to the US. So there's a lot of people
Okay.
from North America, there's a lot of people from Europe that would like to move legally to the
Yeah.
US. So there are many types of working or investment visas. What we do
Hmm.
is, as a sister firm of a law firm, we
Hmm.
take all that people, we show them the adequate legal way to move to the US. And then we also help them connect with different brokers that could potentially sell them investments, sell them franchises if needed,
Right.
move their company directly to the US because there's a lot of people that want to keep their brand, want to keep their name. So they do that. So we have a couple of services and we have also a couple of just regular advice, like packages of advices that we give to them.
Hmm.
That's what I sell on a daily basis,
Gotcha.
especially
So
to
it's basically more like consulting or like you're helping, people want to migrate to the US to make sure everything is going smoothly, right? They don't have to worry about anything. It's kind of a white glove service to help them with their migration process. Um, so this, I guess this is like some high ticket offer or like
yeah.
how does that look like? Like what would it cost like roughly if I would ask your help to like if I would be interested in that. Like,
Yeah, like usually this visa or migration services will be anything around 5 to 15K. So
okay,
5
5 to 15K ticket price, US dollars, right?
US dollars. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's actually a very interesting niche, if you think about it. And you applied basically everything that you learned in your job that you or not job, like it's kind of the position that you have right now, as you already kind of have been a remote salesperson before
Yeah,
coming into the program, and you just applied it directly to the opportunity vehicle that you already have at hand.
that's right. And it was like you could start seeing small changes, but then with patience, because of course, I mean, I didn't wait like 90 days to start applying what I learned in day
Right,
one. I
right,
was
right, right.
to apply a couple of things, but basically after the 90 days, I don't know if it was coincidental or whatever, I start seeing like actual results in my ink. Slight changes, then bigger ones, and I know it's gonna keep going up. So yeah, I started implementing that. But I'll say that definitely the moment that I started seeing like real changes in which I see in my bank account and I'm like, oh, it improved. It was
Yeah,
when I started changing the mindset part and the way I communicate and the way I just approached people. Mm, in sales, you actually need to let the other one speak. You need to help them make a decision. You need to force the decision into them. So
right.
that's
And
the point.
listening, right? And it's oftentimes the exact opposite what some people might think, especially if they're already in sales like you, right? Previously. What would you, Carlos, what would you say to someone that might is not, let's say they're finding themselves in a similar situation like yourself. They are already in some type of a sales position or a position where they're already closing. Or maybe they're in corporate sales, what would you say to someone who's not 100% sure about our program, or they're considering about joining, but they don't know if it's the right thing for them, or they might say, well, let me just, watch Grant Cardone on YouTube and I'm going to be learning it there. Um, or let me partner with a colleague and we're going to do role plays together with free content. Like, what would you say to someone who is kind of on the fence?
I'll definitely say, like, if you're as an individual value time and value results, probably this mentorship is the smartest thing you could do, considering the fact that, as you said, you could do it with a partner, you could do it with a friend, you could do it by yourself, you could do it in, I don't know, free groups or whatever, and maybe it could work. But in here is everything like summarized. Maybe I could learn these skills in 1 or 2 years, right? But I think that's what you did, right? But then you took those years, I don't know, 5, 10 years, and just put it into really condensed mentorship, in which I don't have to go through all the failures that probably you had to go through. I just get to listen the success part of it, or take the best that brought you the actual success. Because at the end of the day, 20% of your efforts will bring like the vast majority of the results, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it would be smarter to save time and just to go straight to the point, to go through a mentorship that already summarizes it for you, puts it in a very easy and simple way to understand. But of course, you need to know that this is going to take a lot of effort, and this is going to take a lot of commitment. So if you're willing to commit, it's better to commit to this than to commit to something random, or anything in the internet that you don't know if it's the right technique for you, or if it isn't. And at the end of the day, I also saw something that recently, I don't remember the name, but somebody in Instagram make a reel about it. So it was like, okay, you can listen, for example, to Grant Cardone, to Dave Ramsey, you can listen to Alex Hormozi, you could listen to Ryan Garcia, you could listen to Ryan Serhan, I don't know, wherever you have in the internet. But at the end of the day, if you listen to all of them, you're not going to do anything, because everybody has their own way to operate. Everybody has like their own methodology. What I can tell you is I used this one. It worked amazing for me. Of course, it was hard. Of course, I had to put in a lot of effort, but now I'm seeing results. So that's it.
Yeah, it's a very good way to put it. There are multiple ways to roam, so to say, right? They might all work. Some might work better for you than others, right? But without commitment, accountability, and actually, putting in the work, there's no shortcut, so to say, right? The only thing you could shortcut is, like you said, investing into a mentor, so you're really invested into it, and then just execute on it and have someone who's next to you guiding you through it. Or if you hit an obstacle, right, someone who can help you out with that. Then looking back, I mean, who can take that skill now from you? Like, you're gonna keep it like for the rest of your life, right? It's not something that you learn once and then you unlearn it. It's like you said, it's just like you apply to all walks of your life, right? Not just the business side.
And it is not only a skill that you will use like to close on your job. Basically, every time you're going to buy something important, for example, if you're going to do a big investment, maybe buy a house, maybe buy a used car, whatever that is going to cost you money, you're going to have better better information to negotiate, better techniques. If you don't have like a significant other, you're going to be more prepared to talk to different people, talk to people you don't know. Like it is not something that is narrowed to a very specific activity that you can only do once in a year, and maybe there's only 100 people in the world that can do it. Like, it is nothing like that. It is a basic skill that literally it is not difficult to sell, but it is, in my perception, is very difficult to be a good salesman. Like, it is not difficult to get a sales job. I think those are the easiest jobs to get, because there are so many out there. The difficult thing is to be a good one, and to be someone that really cares about the people, and to be someone that actually is able to deliver to the company and to themselves. Because of course we work for a commission, right? But at the end of the day, we need to make the company make a lot of money, win a lot of money. That way we are going to make a lot of money ourselves. So I think it is like a very good thing. And if we don't actually help the clients, at the end of the day, we're going to have a huge issue. That's the thing that people don't understand, because maybe you can like hate salesmen or whatever because of the common perception,
Yeah.
but the vast majority of them, or at least the vast majority of salespeople that I know, actually just want to provide a good service and something that is useful at the end of the day. And the good thing for closing is that you're not out there like, for example, I sell a very specific product. So I'm not out there in the streets with a sign that said, hey, do you want to move to the US? Like, I'm not doing
Right.
that. So we have already pre-qualified people. Of course, sometimes the lead come colder, sometimes they come warmer, but at
Yeah.
the end of the day, it's not like a cold calling stuff in which nobody knows anything about you, and you could feel like you're like trespassing somebody's privacy or crossing a limit. So it is nothing like that. And again, if you do that, that's okay. If anybody seeing the video does that, that's okay. But I think there are better ways to go and more profitable ways to go.
Yeah, it's this entire concept of like remote closing that we speak with people who already kind of put up their hand. Hey, I'm interested to learn more about that. I would like to have more information. I still have some questions. And then they book in a call with you as the closer. So you can go through everything with them, make sure it's a good fit, make sure you can really help them. It's within their budget, right? And then help them into the next steps or point them into a different direction, right? So it's not that, like you said, you don't have to do like your lead generation or your marketing. It's like you work with a company, an influencer, and I mean, depending on everyone's situation in our community, who does the marketing to make sure your calendar is full, and then in your case, you just pick up the phone, talk with them, and you don't need to bother anyone who doesn't want your stuff or anyone who's not interested in the offer, right?
Exactly. That's right. And I think I could also add to that um if you're already in sales and you're thinking about taking the next step, and you think that is your current position or your current role, that the one that sucks, it's actually you. You are the one that sucks. It's not the role, it's usually not the company. So that was something that I realized for myself. You know, it is not that I didn't like the job. I was just thinking like, okay, I'm selling and this is my ceiling. This is the max amount that I could sell in this company. So yeah, I was definitely wrong because I'm still in the same company. So the problem was not the amount of leads. The problem was not the quality of the leads. The problem was like completely on me. I didn't even knew I had a problem. And okay, let's not call it a problem because it is not like an actual problem, but definitely I didn't have the necessary skills to close, because
Yeah.
closing is different than just talking to the people about it, because I know how to talk. Um, I think I'm good with words. I think I'm good with people, but that's different from closing. Like actually get the deal, actually get the contract signed. That's a different process, and you need to know how to do it. As they say, there's a lot of salespeople that can't close.
Yeah. So for you specifically, it was a skill gap, right? And then also a value, like how valuable are you for the company? Of course, if you close that skill gap, your skill goes up, you produce more for the company, you become more valuable, your income goes up. So it's very simple. And then
Yeah.
how you explain, there's so many people out there. For example, also if I go out, I apply somewhere, or I want to buy something, or I'm on the buying end, they're just order takers, right? Like it's just, oh yeah, okay, well, no, I need to think about it, right? And then it's just, okay, they just, okay, you don't want it, then that's it. So they're just taking the order, and they're losing so many opportunities of helping other people out because it is the right solution for them. That might be just some limiting beliefs that they have that you as a closer should be working through with them. So it's a good way on how you just reframe that, that it's eventually like you, and it comes back to
Yeah.
ownership, right? And you taking ownership about your own life and the position that you're in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And nobody should be like, I saw a lot of people, even in the mentorship, that sometimes they are afraid of selling something, right? And they are afraid of the outcome. Like first, of course, you got to make sure that you sell something good, but at the end of the day, it's some time you need to have a serious conversation with somebody, sit an hour with the person to understand their needs and provide them a good service. Like that might feel weird at first, especially if you're not used to sales. But believe me, I got like 6 messages just last week of people that bought businesses a while ago, to people that bought whatever investment got them to the US, and they're so thankful. Like, of
Yeah.
course, they're like, hey, this hasn't been easy, but thanks to you, I'm here right now. So once you get the feedback from the people, that actually helps you perform better for the next one, because you have, you have like, okay, you're gonna do good because I already have 20, 30, 50 people here that did good. So
Yeah.
those are your chances, right? So I think that's also important when looking for a place to work. You should be
Yes.
working for something you believe in, something that actually resonates with yourself. Because if not, it is not that you are not going to be good, because there's a lot of people that sell whatever and they're great sales people, right? But for me, I like to only work with things I know that function and that I think that are actually useful at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. So that the offer that you with as a closer, that it's something where you can put yourself behind, it provides a great value. There are testimonials. There are people who are very happy about the offer that the company that you're representing is doing in a marketplace. And yeah, I mean, like if you have clients that come to you afterwards, even after a couple of weeks or months, and say, hey, thanks, that was super helpful. I think that is a good indicator that you're on the right track as a closer, because like you said, there are people who may be closing for a company where they don't really know what type of outcome, or they don't have the confidence yet, and they might be closing well, but then after a while, it also, you want to ask yourself as a closer, okay, like, how do you sleep at night? How do you really want to put your name behind whatever you're offering? Because usually, if it's a very weak offer, or the company doesn't really know what they're doing, it will crumble, it will fall apart, it's not going to last, right? So that's a very good point that you touched on there. Very
Yeah.
good. All right, Carlos. Now slowly coming to an end with the interview. Is there anything else, Carlos, that you want to mention before we wrap things up? Just in general.
Let me think about it. Mm, well, just an important thing, in the first model that we actually have this mindset assignments. It's funny because I'm right here looking at them, and this whatever we're doing right now, this call was actually one of my goals when I started on the mentorship. So in that first model, I literally wrote in that paper, one day I wanted to be a success example for Marcus. And I also remember that I texted you through the DM, and I was like, because the first time I follow you, or I don't know, I wasn't following you, or I reacted to a story, whatever, you were like, hey, you should consider this. And I was like, yeah, I'm already enrolled, and I'm gonna be a success example for you one day. So I think that's like the proof that you could actually do whatever you accomplish if you put in the hours, if you put in
Yeah.
the efforts, and if you're actually open for it to happen.
Yeah. Good point. Absolutely. Set your goals, and then, I mean, you're knocking them off. You're just executing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool, Carlos. Congratulations one more time. So if you're still watching this and you are, considering, hey, maybe this is something for me, I want to learn more about it, there is actually a link down below in the description or in the comments where you could check out a free training that me and my team we put together to see, hey, is this something that might be interesting for you? Something how you can also change your life, like Carlos did here. Maybe you're already in some type of sales position, or maybe you're not, right? So click the link down below, sign up for the free training, and then eventually afterwards, if you want to speak to either me or someone on my team, you also get a chance to actually book a clarity call, so we can really look into your situation. Is this something that we can help you with? If not, we'll let you know immediately, but maybe we can, like we helped Carlos here. So yeah, Carlos, one more time, thanks for taking the time. I think this was really great for the people out there to see and listen to your story. Congratulations. I'm super proud of you. And yeah, let's keep crushing it. And hopefully we can schedule in a second version of this in a couple of months to see how you evolved.
breaking the 20K.
Let's do it, my man. All right. Talk to you later.